What is up, everyone? I'm Zach Hammer. With me is Charlie Madison. He's muted because he's currently doing some real estate deals, I'm pretty sure. And he'll be with us in a second, but I wanted to get you all caught up. And this is kind of pretty normal for how Charlie and I often work together, which is Charlie does what Charlie needs to do, and I do what I need to do. And we get stuff done in the process. Let me go ahead and get our background music going real quick. We got it right there. And let me drop it down. There we go. About right there feels right. All right, so let me get you caught up while Charlie's finishing up his call. So Charlie and I do this show. We have scheduled time that we typically come on and do this. Earlier, we worked together for a bit, but we never actually went live.
I'm back.
Hey, Charlie. You're back. But yeah, so earlier we worked on some stuff together, but never actually went live. Both you and I are in the midst of kind of a similar stage of what we're working on in our business, of developing out what's going to be our way, our method of generating leads that we could then promote our stuff to, right? So right. And the key goal here being we want to be able to promote to cold in order to generate leads that we can nurture, indoctrinate, and ultimately show the power of our ways. And so you and I were working together live. We sort of ended up in this flow where I was just thinking through with you what your process might look like, and you already had thought through and developed out a concept for a lead magnet that you were going to be running with. And part of what I was walking you through was a reality that I've seen, which is at any given point, I have a testing framework that I like to run things through in order to maximize the chances of success. And part of that testing framework when it comes to ads is whenever possible running with at least 5 variations. And when I think through those variations, it's not variations on small words or small things like just the picture. When I'm thinking through those variations, whenever possible, the ideal variation is like a completely different offer, right? A completely different hook or object or thing. And I want to test to see what thing that I could offer is getting the most draw for people, getting the most pull. And the reason 5 is actually a pretty intentional number. 5 is, under the idea of the 80-20 rule, right? That principle tends to hold true. And 5 is our minimum number to potentially test in order to find one, which would be 20%, that might outperform all the others, right? And potentially drastically so. So now it doesn't always work out that we see the 80-20 rule at play, but it gives us the opportunity for it to happen. So that we have data to say, hey, if we're gonna, before we scale up ads, let's see which of these actually gets us the best result possible, right? So that's kind of what we were talking through, what we were working on. And then what we worked on is you and I just had a discussion about this lead magnet that you're working on, who you're looking to attract. And I was working with you to brainstorm, develop, and strategize what those 5 variations would look like, still trying to keep it as simple as possible while still resulting in 5 lead magnets that we could test. Does that all add up so far? Does that sound about like what we've done? Oh, I lost you there for a second.
That sounds about right.
All right, perfect. You are there.
Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you, but I do hear you. I don't have video though. But yeah, so but I did hear you. Hopefully you're still hearing me.
Yeah, I'm still here. Let's see if that works.
Right,
it's
perfect.
trying. Whoa, that's my 1973 handycam video.
Indeed. There we go.
Hey.
There we go.
But I thought it was an extra in Blair Witch.
Yeah, right. But anyway, so that's what we worked on. We talked through some different ideas. We ended up coming up with five potential angles. We talked through those. And what I did in between that conversation and now is I actually developed those out. So I wanted to show those to you. That's what we decided to pop on and actually show people. That's what you're about to see. So this is you haven't seen this yet either. That's what we're going to be doing. Let me get my screen share going. Is there any other context that you want to add to this? Anything that you want to let people know or think about going into it?
I mean, it's cool. It's your system. I shared with you ideas. You asked a bunch of questions, stuff that I hadn't thought about. And then you just start asking questions and kind of coming up with all this. Like I had one idea, which was a lead magnet of a list of realtors and a prompt. Because I mean, I just need to test trying to get leads. And you started thinking through, I mean, kind of this octopus of offers that would intertwine together, because that's what you do.
Right. And really, I mean, the key goal was to give you the best chance of success. Because you're right. You could test one and see if it works. But I've found having the comparison right there and present in the same time and same flow, all of that, I found that gets me better data. The biggest reason why people don't do it is because it takes you think about 5 different versions. And that might be one of those things where it's like where I'm uniquely equipped to help people in that's always going to be something that's hard to do on your own, right? Like that's when you come up with an idea, it's like that idea sort of locks your brain in place. And sometimes it takes that outside perspective to look at it from the different angles, to look at it from the different pieces, and to be able to flow through it. That's part of what we did. And so it's really hard to come up with those 5 different ideas to test on your own. Most people struggle to come up with the one idea to test, let alone 2. But 5 probably feels somewhat insurmountable for most people. But we knocked it out, right? We knocked it out. We developed the concept. It took us about 2 hours that we were sitting there on the call. That's how long the transcript was. But then as a result of that, now I've got some stuff ready for you. So this is what I did. I took the transcript here of the call itself. You had already developed out the prompt for that the AI prompt that you were going to be sharing with people. And then I just asked it this simply because like part of what I knew is that I got all the context that I needed to into the transcript, right? So I didn't need to do some super advanced prompting. All of the context was in there, right? So I wrote, from this transcript, please generate the 5 lead magnets, really 4 because one of them is the delivery of something, and also generate the welcome/delivery email. Give those to me as separate artifacts. That's what I did. I'm using the extended thinking in Claude, and then I just sat back and it did its thing. So let's walk through these and see what you think.
All right.
This is the welcome email that it would leverage. You want me to read this out loud, or do you want to just read it? How do you want to do that?
Let's see. Yeah. Let me. So your county specific top realtor list coming soon. Hey, first name. Thank you for requesting our exclusive top realtor list for county. What happens next? We're now personally researching and compiling your custom list of top performing realtors in your area. This isn't an automated process. We manually analyze the transaction data to ensure you get the most accurate and valuable information possible. You'll receive your customized list within 1 to 2 business days. The list will include top performing realtors ranked by sales volume, transaction counts to help you identify the 10 to 25 deal sweet spot, contact info, years in business, why this list matters. The right realtor partnerships can transform your lending business. We found that realtors doing 10 to 25 deals per year who handle both listings and buy sides make the ideal partners. Not too small to be worthwhile, not too big, already be locked into existing relationships. That sentence is kind of awkward. While you wait for your custom list, I've included a bonus resource that will help you make the most of this information when it arrives. 5 questions to ask before pursuing a realtor partnership. If you got any questions in the meantime, simply reply to this email to your success. P.S. Want to turn these cold contacts into strong partnerships. Stay tuned for more resources on how to approach these top realtors in a way that positions you as a valuable growth partner, not just another loan officer looking for leads. That's pretty awesome.
Okay. So yeah, I agree with you. There's a few things that it's doing here that may not make sense. For this email specifically, we haven't really talked about this in this or in the information yet, so they won't have the context. And similarly, this might be a bit too specific to the overall discussion we were having rather than this list itself, right? Because when you're giving them the list, you're not necessarily doing the 10 to 25, the 10 to 25 sweet spot selector in the list itself, right?
Yeah. So there's part of me that thinks, well, that's kind of cool that it's kind of preceding some new insights,
right?
And one thing. So with my list, it's really directionally correct.
Right.
Like it's not, because it pulls from county tax records and not everything is listed. And so like it is important to know, like it's real estate data is all over the place, so it's not
right
100% correct, but it does give you a list of this person does the most, this person does the least, right?
Right. Yep, that makes sense. So it's not going to be the exact counts, but it's going to give you the ideas of who's moving in what direction in the area.
Yeah. And I think the insight that I've just had is I really want. So a lot of times people that just look at buy sides and then they've got another table that shows list sides. And what I want is I want them both side by side with a total, because again, my insight is the agents that are happiest are the ones that do both.
Right.
Well, the ones that are happiest and that will give you purchases. Right.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So you want this tool to be in alignment with helping you select the other, from the other criteria that we've developed out too, correct?
Correct.
All right, perfect. So yeah, so this itself probably needs to be refined based on some of those ideas, but it's a good starting point, and you could take this and run with it pretty readily based on what you're planning to supply, correct?
Yeah, that's better than what I would have done off the rip.
And then I think this 5 questions asked before pursuing a real estate realtor partner, I think is actually essentially this, right? Identifying the ideal realtor partner. So like I might change the name of what I'm saying I'm supplying in this welcome email. But essentially it's one of the other resources. Okay, so this, and then here we go into, this would be what you provide for the ultimate realtor research AI prompt. So what's cool about this is it not only gives the prompt that you gave, but it's giving like the context around it. So it's more of like here's the tool, but also how to use it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like that. That's so much better.
So yeah, the ultimate realtor research AI prompt, transform your realtor outreach with deep intelligence. This AI prompt template is designed to help loan officers like you research potential realtor partners thoroughly before reaching out. By understanding their background, business approach, personal interests, and more, you can make meaningful connections to stand out from the typical cold call approach. How to use this prompt. Copy the entire prompt below, paste it into Claude, ChatGPT, or any other advanced AI assistant. And that might not be right. It might be Claude specifically that you'd recommend. But yeah, we can adapt that. Replace realtor name and location with your target realtor's information. Submit and review the detailed profile return. Okay, so then you got the prompt. Then advanced tips, follow-up prompts. After receiving the initial profile, you could ask follow-up questions like, can you please research their best friends and family, like spouse and kids? Could you please provide a list of all their online profiles? Using the research. When reaching out to a realtor, don't directly mention all the research you've done. That can seem intrusive. Instead, use it to guide natural conversation toward shared interests and complementary business needs. Partnership indications. Pay special attention to whether they work with buyers and sellers. If they do 10 to 25 deals per year, their approach to marketing, sphere of influence focus is best, and values alignment with your business philosophy. I mean, again, we're sort of seeding some of the other things that we talked about, but like this. Why this works. Unlike the Monday caller approach of endless cold calls and donut deliveries, this research-based method positions you to make meaningful connections from the first contact. You'll know exactly what matters to each realtor and can tailor your approach to their specific situation. The most successful loan officer realtor partnerships are built on mutual growth and understanding. This deep research approach is your first step toward becoming a true realtor growth catalyst rather than just another loan officer looking for leads. Ready to take your partnerships to the next level? Stay tuned for more resources on how to leverage this research in the outreach strategy. How's that feel?
That's great. That is great. So much better than what I would do.
And then this is the welcome email itself. So this is how you deliver it. So thank you for requesting it. You're now equipped with one of the most powerful tools for building meaningful relationships with the right realtor partners. Attached to this email, you'll find your complete AI prompt guide. Why this prompt is different. Unlike typical cold outreach that gets ignored, this research approach gives you a significant advantage. Discover personal connection points that make your outreach feel genuine and thoughtful. Identify which realtors fit your ideal partner profile. Understand their business model to tailor your value position, proposition specifically to the needs. Find conversation starters, and then quick start instructions. Basically walks through the thing. Pro tip. So this is mostly the idea at the end. So the most successful loan officers use this not just to gather information, but to make decisions about who's worth pursuing. Remember, it's better to have deep relationships with 10 ideal realtor partners than shallow connections with 100 random agents. Looking to turn this research into effective outreach? Keep an eye on your inbox for our next resource on the perfect script to invite realtors to your Influence Catalyst show. The unique approach that transforms cold contacts into eager partners. So what's powerful about this, and I don't know if I'd do it this way. I would you could sequence them out. You could sequence them out where imagine with me. This doesn't need to be this way to start out, but imagine if you set these up like a flywheel, where you set up the automation so that they get one, and then it points them to the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one, but they all point to each other. So no matter where somebody comes in, you've got a welcome sequence that gives them all of them, and they relate together and wow them. Does that make sense?
I love that.
And so you can build anticipation. You can build it's essentially like a cool mini course, but they come into it at whatever part most interests them. So that can be really powerful.
So this is partly for the script. So I really love that, and I wonder if we could put where it says it's better to have 10 realtor partners down at the bottom there.
Yeah.
It's better to have 10 ideal realtor partners who send you 10 deals a year than shallow connections with 100 random agents who send you 9.
Yeah, right.
Again, it's kind of I want to put that thought in their head. 10 ideal realtors, because when I share that, some people are like, man, that's exactly what I want. Sometimes they're like, yeah, but that's impossible. That I've discovered that really is a dream come true. 10 realtor partners send you 10 purchases a year, and you market to your sphere of influence. They'll name their babies after me.
Right. Yeah, man. And that's a powerful. That's a good anchor point to describe it. They'll name their babies after me. Indeed. Oh, I love that. All right, let's see. What's the next one? The Loan Officer's Guide to 100% Realtor Show-Up Rates. How do you feel about this? My analytical brain knows that that's never going to be true, but it's directionally correct, so I kind of like it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the headache you could potentially test.
It makes me think of the old Gary Halbert thing, which is, I'll write your sales letter and I'll keep working on it, guaranteed until it works. And then after so long, if it didn't work, he's like, it's not me, it's you.
Right.
So I think this is the smart realtors are going to show up for when real value's there.
Exactly.
It kind of leads into the realtor filter, right?
Right.
We know some aren't going to show up, and you don't want to spend time with them anyway.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so this goes through. I really thought this turned out well, especially because we didn't give it a lot of the context. We just sort of gave it the ideal outcome. So stop wasting time on no-shows and start building valuable partnerships. The problem, the disappearing realtor. This sounds familiar. You're not alone. You spend hours setting up appointments with realtors. They seem interested on the phone. Then they mysteriously forget or reschedule repeatedly. When they do show, the conversation feels forced and transactional. Your follow-up calls go straight to voicemail. The traditional loan office approach of chasing realtors simply doesn't work anymore. Today's successful realtors are bombarded with hunch invitations, rate sheets, and promises to save their difficult deals. What if there was a better way? The fundamentals, show up, rate, truth, or the fundamental show up, rate, truth. Before diving into tactics, you need to understand this critical principle. The number one factor in appointment show up rates isn't your reminder system, it's whether the realtor actually wants to attend. Most appointment strategies focus on logistics and reminders, but they miss the fundamental reason realtors don't show up. They don't see enough value in meeting with you. The influence catalyst show approach. Instead of positioning yourself as yet another loan officer asking for business, what if you positioned yourself as someone offering realtors a valuable opportunity? The influence catalyst show approach completely reverses the dynamic. Traditional approach. Can I take you to lunch to tell you about my rates? Realtor's perception. This person wants something from me. Result, low show up rate, reluctant conversation. Influence catalyst approach. I'm interviewing top realtors for my expert show that I promote to my sphere. Would you be interested, or can you recommend someone? Realtor's perception. This person is offering me value and exposure. Result, high show up rate, engaged conversation. Practical implementation steps. Number one, the perfect meeting invitation. Use this exact outreach script via phone, text, or email. And so it's actually giving up the script, even though we have a separate one that's just the script. Hi, name. I'm looking for a realtor to interview in the next couple of weeks to showcase an expert and advertise to my sphere of influence. Are you interested, or do you have a friend who might be? This works because it positions you as the one offering value. It includes subtle social proof, reduces the pressure or a friend option. It creates natural curiosity about your platform. Pre-meeting confirmation protocol. We don't have to go through all of these. The meeting structure, the follow through that skewers the relationship. Yeah, and you can adjust this, but I love the idea of it because it does it delivers on what we promised, just not necessarily in the way that they're expecting.
Right.
Go ahead.
It's pretty amazing how how much it gets right on like what the stuff we didn't even mention, you know?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot that you sort of realize. I mean, in terms of like what we do in the AI age, I think a lot of this stuff, it's like the most powerful thing is having the powerful idea. And then like the actual execution on some of this stuff just really starts becoming easier and easier and easier because it is like with enough context, with enough like it can fill in 80 to 90% of the blanks as long as you're actually starting with something that's valuable and meaningful. And your approach is proven, right? Like you and I were talking about this earlier. What I help people do is I help people leverage something that's actually proven and gets results in order to leverage that, to generate business with their list, right? And you have an approach that's proven, it works. And so all we're doing here is sort of packaging it in the way that's necessary to deliver that value to somebody else in a repeatable way that we can, put a lead generation offer behind. And that used to take a ton of creativity all on of its own, but now, like, as long as you're armed with the right, either people to help you do it, like you have with me, or processes to flow through, like the actual workload just becomes 10 times easier. But yeah.
Right.
Meeting structure. I mean, these are things that you'd probably want to read through and just double check to see if you like them or if you'd want to change them. Here's what I'd recommend. I'd give it a quick read through and just make sure is it mostly directionally correct, and if not, or and change anything that's glaringly wrong. But even if it's not the ideal for like what you're looking for, I wouldn't worry about it too much yet at this point, because really what we want to see is we really want to dial in which of these is working best. That's our goal here.
That's the that's the big insight that I had with Dean and Jamie. Like, are we getting people that are my ideal client raising their hand? Right. It in a way, like, I mean, I've got to deliver on the promise, but in a lot of ways, like, it doesn't matter. Like what the thing is, it doesn't even have to really lead into what I do. Like, it could just be a list of profitable loans in 2025. But the more it speaks to lenders looking for realtor partners, I think the better.
And the other thing, like, to keep in mind with it is, it matters. it does matter if your lead magnet like delivers on what you're doing, because like there's sort of this continual building of trust, but it matters like in the long run, the longer you do it. It doesn't matter for testing to see which offer gets you that first result most powerfully, right?
Right.
And so what's cool here is that you have time to refine this. Does that make sense? So you have time to come back into it and say, all right, like we're getting a lot of people opting in now. Let's really make sure that this is like most in alignment with what sets us up for success and all of that. But like that's work that's more fun to do once you actually have results coming in. You're like, okay, I do this, and then now I potentially have like people even coming into this more fully understanding. Whereas like right now, we don't know if we're going to generate leads off of any of this. So we just kind of like we want to get the best rough draft option out there so that we have enough to test. We've delivered on the promises, that we're at least not lying to people, right? Like that's the idea here. Results you can expect: loan officers using the influence catalyst approach report. I mean, like some of this, you'd have to make sure if you actually believe this and could stand behind it.
Right.
So you might change some of these numbers, but directionally the idea is correct. Beyond show up rates, building the right partnerships. So I mean, like we're sort of, there's a lot of bleed over between these, and I think that's actually pretty good for this.
Yeah. Yeah. So I gotta say, I really like the idea.
Concept. Even a simple name works. Prepare 5 to 7 standard questions that make realtors look good. And even like for this, I might throw in like, here's some rough next steps. If you want help implementing this system, like we're doing a deep dive walkthrough on this. Let me know if you want it. Right? Like I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but you can't.
Or like you point to your webinar or something. Oh, I can't hear you. I wonder if that's on my end.
I'm talking. I'm just talking away. Just being ignored.
Share. It seems to happen sometimes. I don't know why.
It does.
Yeah, you're going to the MacBook speakers instead of this. Let's see. Can I hear you?
Check 1 2 1 2.
I can't hear you.
No,
I'm gonna refresh and come back.
Okay. Well, that is fun. Yeah. What I was saying is I really, really like that when we were working on these lead magnets, he was asking me a bunch of questions, and he was coming up with the idea for all 5 of these lead magnets. And what's cool is when he put the whole transcript in, every lead magnet has parts of the other. So it's like this one, I like the thought of an octopus, even though there's just 5 instead of 8. But like there's this 5 different offers, but all of them are weaved in with the others, which are really, really cool the way that happened. That was really, really cool. And that was it. Now we'll see if he hops back on. Can you hear me? Check 1 2. Check 1 2. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. That is amazing. Yeah, no, let me see. Let me see if I can change my settings. Oh boy. Let's see. Keep talking. Not a thing.
All right. I think I might have gotten.
Hey,
can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I do. I have no idea why that happens sometimes, but yeah, like quitting Brave and quitting Crisp seems to help. So anyway, I'm back. What were we talking about, or what were you trying to say that I couldn't hear?
I think it's really cool how we worked on the 5 lead magnets all at once, and it ended up being like an octopus with 5. Would that be a pentapus?
What kind of puss are we talking about here, Charlie? We're roasted.
1, 2, 3. And so there's 5, and but we're talking about like this is really cool. Like we're talking about all of them, and so when it created all of them, it weaved all of them in with the other, and so it made this really cool, flowy whole thing.
Right.
I don't know if you did that on purpose, but it ended up being really, really cool.
Yeah, I didn't do it on purpose in particular. I think it is a pretty natural. It's a good natural end result of being in the same vein, the same flow. Where like here's the reality. Even though we want to test things from different angles, we do ultimately want them all to end up in the same spot of being a good fit for what you're doing. And so all of these things relate together, and
Right.
the way that they flow together, matters. And yeah, so I mean, like I don't think that's necessary for this to be right, but here's the reality. If you're speaking to your ideal customer, well, the topics should overlap and relate and connect to each other, right? Because they theoretically relate to the overall journey that you're taking them on. And when we're looking at the idea of, yes, we want to attract the right, a lot of the right people, and our process will filter and nurture and whatnot too. But like, whenever possible, we really do. We want it to zero in on the right people, which means any one of these elements should appeal to them based on what we're ultimately going to bring them into, right? So yeah, there's a little bit of a dance there, but let me show some more of what these are. All right, so where did we leave off? We got maximizing show up rates, right? So we went through that. I think some of this might be modified in order to tease at like a deeper view of the Influence Catalyst show concept, which by the way would be a great mid-ticket offer. Your guide's 100%.
Hey, I've got an appointment at 3:30 right now that I've got to hop off to.
Right.
What would be the best thing to do?
Well, yeah. So I mean, we can wrap it there, but that gives you the idea, and I'll share the link to the Claude chat so that you have everything there. And yeah. So now you have those assets. You could literally take them from that, throw them into Gamma to create like an asset that you could deliver. You could even like throw them into HackMD, or even just publish it out of Claude if you wanted to keep it really simple. You have the welcome emails, you have the asset. At this point, the next step is to set up the lead forms in Facebook, get the ads live. We could, off of that Claude thread, we should be able to deliver on the ads and stuff too. So through the next steps on like how you deploy on this test, do they feel more clear than they did before?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've kind of connected together. So thank you.
You got it.
All right. Bye.